to another episode of Kwesi's Corner with me, Kwesi. Today we're doing something slightly different. Usually being a drummer is all about noise and about how many decibels you can create. Today we're going to play at a much lower volume as to not disturb and off the neighbours. So without further ado, may I introduce to you the Black Holes by RTOM and the Zildjian L80 Cymbals. Keep it locked. So first off, we have the Zildjian L80 low volume cymbals. We have 18, 16 and 14. So it's an 18 like kind of crash ride, 16 crash and 14 hats here on this particular set. It actually does come in two other configurations. So it also comes in the 18 and 13, so just an 18 crash ride and 13 hats. And it also comes in 18, 14 and 13, so an 18 crash ride, 14 crash and 13 hats as opposed to 14. These are perforated B8 cymbals that have been, there's many perforations, as even on the bell there's perforations. So it allows the air on the cymbal, whereas when you normally hit a cymbal, basically the vibration spread across the top of the cymbal. The air passes along the top of the cymbal, which helps create the sound, etc. I'm not going to go too far into detail there, but with this, because there are so many holes, the air's going everywhere, it dissipates quite quickly. Some scientists who watch the page can tell you more about that. However, they've been finished with a very nice coating on it. It's like a matte kind of sparkle coating. It's got like miniature sparkles everywhere. I'm sure you'll see that close up in the vid. And they're fairly thin, as you can see. This is quite thin. It rocks around quite a bit when you crash it as well. So the great thing about this is that it dies very quickly. So you can hit that, it's gone down. You can hit that, it's gone down. The air passes all around and literally dissipates again quite quickly. It says on the box now that you can use this for practice, education and quiet gigs. Now practice definitely, education definitely, quiet gigs I was a bit skeptical, to be honest, a few months ago. When I saw it on the box I was thinking these guys are just trying to sell units. Actually it does work, you know, it would work in a setting, especially with what I'm going to talk about next. But yeah, why not? Why not use them in a you know, living room gig or a really intimate gig with 10 people or something? It works. Could work quite well depending on what the setting is. A really good cymbal if you want to be able to practice without bothering anyone at all. Obviously, we have an influx of customers looking for kits, parents and students and all kinds of people who want the feel of a real kit but don't particularly want to go electronic. So they wanted to know, what you can take as an alternative. This, I can safely say, is a good alternative. It's a good alternative. It feels like real hats. The hats feel like real hats, albeit slightly thin, but they respond like a cymbal should, because it's a cymbal essentially. You can even have these in your room. You can have these in your room. You can have them in your flat. Play them at good times of the day. You can play at good times in the evening, because no time is not a good time to play. You know what I'm saying? So next up we have this ingenious invention, I think, very simple but ingenious nonetheless, invention by RTOM, and it's called a black hole. Snigger, snigger. But we've got this right here, and I'm going to show you what this looks like close up. So I'm going to take one off the snare. Feels like Blue Peter or something. So basically what this is a frame or a mesh pad on a frame that would be reminiscent of any normal drum head. So it's obviously attached to there somehow. And then it's got a rubber pad on the outside of that goes all around. So you can see that I've literally peeled back this rubber pad that goes around it. So with this rubber pad, you're able to lock this on to any drum head, any drum of, you know, corresponding size. And attached to that is a kind of material patch, obviously to lengthen the life of the head. And on the back here we've got something very funny. With this key, because every set comes with a key, you can put it in here, this little hole, where you can kind of see it, and literally turn everything on this one way or another. And the more you turn it, you can actually change the tension of the head back and forward. So you can have these tight as you like, or, you know, soft as you like. So basically with these heads, you're able to play at your heart's content, you know, in the middle. Obviously it gives you something to aim for. And in relative silence. And the fact that you've got the rubber heads, obviously they're not just only put the two, you know, they attach the rim to the actual drum itself, but they also act as, you know, quieter hoops. So you still get the tone without, you know, all that, you know, metal clicking that you would get if you were hitting, you know, steel or die-cast or whatever it is that you're playing on. Obviously some people go for mesh heads. Mesh heads may be cheaper depending on which ones you're going for. You know, and you can obviously screw those on and stuff, but with this you can just literally pull your whole stuff off. You can have your real kit up and running, pull this off, and then go to a gig or show and tell or whatever you do. And then when you come back, you just literally clip it back on without having to, oh, you know, I've got to retune this whole kit. Do I really want mesh heads or not? You know, that is now out the window because you've got this option to literally just take it off and put it on, which I find very, very fascinating and useful. And personally, I'm a big fan. And personally, I think I will be investing in these in the coming weeks. You know, you'd have hours of fun with this and still enjoy the feeling of a relatively realistic kit, you know, as opposed to, you know, something electronic. So it's a really intuitive invention, and hats off to these guys. I would take my hat off, but I haven't got my trim, so you're not going to see that. Okay, so these are available in various sizes, 10, 12, 13, 14, 16. There's also bass drum heads available. They're available in 20, 22, and even 24. Can you imagine? So for you, those of you 24 people, there you go, solution. The bass drum works okay. It comes with a little clip that you can basically put at the bottom as well. And, you know, it makes for an all-in-all, you know, quite satisfying experience if you want to be in a position to practice silently. Thanks for listening to this video and watching, of course. If you didn't have your headphones for this video, then you're pretty dumb, because you should be looking at what the title says and understanding there's a video about silence. If you like what you've seen and what you may have heard or not heard, depending on which format you've listened and watched it to, then please subscribe and let us know what you think of these interesting products that have been brought to the table here by yours truly on behalf of Drumshack. Just remember, guys,